Welcome to the Guilty Party.
For it.
Shit.
Yeah.
What are you doing out here?
I was like, how you doing in them fine parts? He was like, I don't fucking know.
We do country stuff.
We do kung fu.
Or what do we do down here?
Anyway, what's up, dude?
Bro, it's been a good time. It's been a little stressful, with all the move and all that good stuff. But, we're hanging in. We're making it work.
So let everyone know, dude, you're in some new parts now. Well, not too far, actually, but in a new new environment.
Long story short, place we were renting, it was a great house. Guy decided he was like, he's going to make some money and, sell the house. Housing market is blowing off the roof. I get it. But
you were given like a few weeks, right?
I was given like 2 weeks notice, like, hey, buddy, I'm putting the house on the market in 2 weeks.
So everybody imagine this, right? You're comfy where you're living and you're given a certain amount of time. It doesn't even matter how much it is. Let's just say, for sake of whatever, 2 weeks.
Yep.
How would anybody feel with 2 weeks to up and move and relocate to anywhere, even if it was right down the street? I mean, dude, that's got to put, no matter what, an amount of stress on a human being.
It does, but like the thing that I've always thrived in is chaos and crunch time. When it comes to go time, my mind just puts all the bad crap behind. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? I go straight to like, we gotta figure out solution 1, 2, and 3. Gotta have a backup A to Z, and my mind moves just a million miles an hour. So when that happened, I made all the calls I needed to do. I contacted all the storage facilities that I needed to do, and bro, we moved a house out in 5 days.
Dude, 5 days. Wow. So
because Becca was about to go back to work, and I was like, there's no damn way I'm going to be able to move an entire house with a newborn and a 5-year-old by myself.
Right. And not having having a newborn, not like too much before that. So yeah, I just think that no matter what, that's an amount of stress. But the one redeeming quality of that is I really believe that the true test of man is adversity. And that's a scenario of adversity. You're given a certain time to vacate and then move into a new location. Plus you got a family to bring with you and you're the man of the house. And so you were tested with adversity. And like you said, you performed well under that, right? I think that's really cool, man. I think that's like a great testament about you. I personally have always known that just by being your friend, being around you. But I think it's really cool for you to like share that with people that may not know you like I do. And I don't think anybody knows you like I do. And if you do, I don't like you because Mike is my dude. Okay. All right.
Hey, you're the only guy that I will do shots of
creek water, dude.
Creek water. One time and one time only. That never
again. I think, dude, we were like friends for 2 weeks when that happened.
No. The best part about that was you're like driving me up. I think what was like a 10-hour drive to Colorado.
But it had been the first time we were in a band. It was the first time we were like...
First time we'd actually been like talked that long.
Right.
We like chit-chatted about when we were on tour, but it wasn't like anything in depth. It was like, hey, what's up?
Well, and I think like 15 hours in a car with anybody, you're going to get to know them real well.
Yeah. But on top of that, you're like, if what I'm talking to you right now doesn't scare you, then we're good. And I was like, okay, you know what? He's actually a cool dude. And then once we get up to the... Colorado Springs, wherever we're staying at, we just connected really, really well. And like, oh, okay, we're pretty much almost the same person in a way.
Well, my thing was like, dude, I think that was like the dawn of my thought process of being like, dude, I think we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
Because we just like, usually when I get in like, in plenty of years of touring, but usually when you get in that mode of touring or just them modes of like 8-hour, 12-hour drives, it's usually got the podcast in, got your music in.
Yeah.
Or you have a good conversation. Our conversation was literally 15 hours. Like we talked
the
whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that was like literally in my head, before I even knew how to do what we're doing.
And dude, we talked about everything.
We covered this 15 hours, right? We had plenty of time, right?
Plenty of time.
a 15-hour podcast, but that's really what led me to do it. I mean, I was like, and then me and you touring, we were like, let's do this shit, dude. Like, let's do a podcast. You're like, I don't know how. I was like, I don't know how. And then we're like, perfect. Like, let's do it.
We made it work, and here we are 1 year almost 1 year later.
Has it been a year?
I think we might have started in April, but still, I mean, basically,
wow,
at this
dude.
point.
That's crazy. Well, you know what? Cheers to that, dude.
Cheers, bro.
I don't have anything but a vape, so here we go. Anyway, man, so much shit has happened, bro. This is properly now episode 6, right?
And just so everyone knows, we're not just stuck somewhere else. Like the place we're staying with my parents for a little bit, and we are hopefully in the process of building a house. So we're not just holed up in some motel down the street. Like, Micah doesn't know what he's gonna do. He doesn't know what to know. Guys, I figured it out. It's okay. All right,
dude.
Chill.
No, you have. You always. That's the thing about you is like I never worry about what your next step is because like you're so analytical. I'm like, he's already got it. He's already got figured out. Like Susie, when I told her, I was like, oh, Micah's like got to move out in like a few weeks and stuff. She was like, oh my God, is he gonna be okay? I was like, yeah, it's Micah. He's gonna be totally fine. But
it took me literally 15 minutes. Like, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna ask this person about that. I think I can check this, all that, and then I was like, as long as they all work out, we were good to go.
Yeah,
but
no,
I mean,
sure,
honestly, God was probably the one. He was the one who did all this. There's no way I could have done that. I mean, I moved an entire house out in 5 days and get everything. We got a 40-foot shipping container in the back of my parents' property.
Oh, is that what you used?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Took that guy. He pulled up and he was like, this sucker ain't going to fit in. I was like, well, if you need to send it back. He's like, well, I mean, you kind of challenged me to. So now he spent 3 hours trying to back that sucker. It finally got in. And he was like,
bro,
it's probably going to be me to come pick this up.
Those guys that back those things in, you can't tell them shit. Those dudes have seen it all, been through it all. They're like, dude, one time we used that way back when we moved to like Colorado and stuff. Like, right. You try to tell that guy, hey, man, just back it in here. If you need any help, let me know. He's like, bro, what do you think this is? like all them dudes have been to Nam some way and somehow.
Oh yeah. He's like, this actually isn't this the worst thing. I was like, really? You sure about that? This looks pretty bad.
No, it ain't shit to them. They're like, bro, I do this every day.
We had to cut a tree branch off of my parents' front yard just to make it work. And my dad was super cool about it. He's like, yeah, just knock it off the tree. I was like, you sure about that, Dad? And he's like, yeah, just do it. It's whatever.
Aren't those the best decisions? Is when you have to say, like, are you sure? Like, yeah, like subconsciously, you're like, hell yeah, I'm about to do this, but I gotta clarify.
Yeah. You understand what I am saying, right?
Chop, you understand that I'm about to chop this thing off. It's gonna fall down real hard, right? Anyway, another thing before we start is these here tan lines.
Bruh. The sun is coming out.
They are. It is coming out.
I thought it was muscles just poking out, but I guess it is a tan.
No, too. these are clearly I'm white lines, and I played basketball today, dude. We did like so much to where you like no matter what you realize you're like it doesn't matter if you're in Olympic shape. We played so much basketball today that I was just like I am dead, and they're like, you want to go one more, and that's like. The pride in you is like, oh yeah, I want to play one more. And then inside your body's just like, please, no. And you're just shaking, but you're like, I'm not going to back down. And then like, I think we just shot threes the whole last game. But anyway, I was outside in the sun, dude, and I almost forgot what it was like to get these, which is why I wore this shirt. Is because I'm actually proud that I got some sun like this because during the pandemic, not much. Like,
unless you had a pool in the back. Like I was outside almost every day in the summer.
I was super jealous watching those pictures.
Yeah. We had that pool and we're going to do it again. So if there's another shutdown, sorry bitches, but we're going to be in the pool.
Come on, dude. I'm going to drive up, dude. Got to get some pool time in. Even though I can go to like another pool, it's like 30 minutes. I'm going to make a 4-hour drive to you. Dip in your pool and then just leave. Not even say a word.
I'm gonna go get margaritas. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna come back.
Yeah, bro. No, whip them up. I'll make you cook and everything, and then just like, where's Pat? And like, just gone. He's gone. Anyway, besides our lives and us laughing so much, there's been so much serious shit.
We have a lot to talk about for sure.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know where you want to start, but obviously everybody knows that there's been a couple shootings.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Let's go and talk about that.
Yeah.
So, okay, one thing that I have not had a chance to research that much is this rise in, I guess, what is it, the hashtag Stop Asian Hate, or all this violence
Oh,
against,
yeah.
That's been an interesting thing to, I mean, I've only skimmed the surface, so I don't know all the details. I don't know exactly when the mass part started happening at all. I know there was that shooting in Atlanta at what was it, a salon?
It was a salon, yeah, or a spa salon, something around that realm.
I think that was like the major turning point. Do you think it's just because of all the stuff that supposedly the COVID came from China and everyone's just being a bunch of assholes? Like, oh yeah, Asian person, look, they're probably from China.
Man,
Stupid.
Okay, so my personal take on this is if you flash back to season 1 of the Guilty Party podcast, we actually talked about this in a foreshadowing circumstance. So my prediction was just like 9/11 with the Muslims after that, people were like scared. Like there was, I don't know if you remember, but we talked about this, but like after 9/11, people that saw Muslims get on planes with them, people walked off those planes. People were like, no, as soon as they saw Muslims, because they were like, well, Muslims are the reason that 9/11 happened and all that stuff. And so there was a lot of Muslim hate after 9/11 because obviously Osama bin Laden claimed to have done it, and he was a part of the Taliban in Afghanistan, blah, 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 Muslim regime. And so that existed then. So when the coronavirus thing happened, we literally talked about this. I was like, dude, what I see happening is people doing the same thing that they did for 9/11, which is they're going to basically any Asian person just hold them accountable because people are always looking for somebody to blame in order to find closure.
Yeah. And so I heard an interesting point. I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago. They were talking about this, and they were talking about why right now it seems like it's very easy to hate or discriminate against someone who's of Asian descent. And they brought something up that I thought was kind of interesting. You know, the last, few hundred years, typically, like when you think of America, you think of either a white person or a black person.
Mm-hmm.
You typically don't really think of someone who's maybe Asian or maybe even Indian or something else.
That's a good point.
And I think, or at least what they said, it's like because when it comes to powers or, big roles of either be entertainment or political or anything else, it's typically someone who's black or white. I know, like in the tech world, usually it's Indian. I know the head guy of Google, I believe he's Indian as well. But there's really no one, famous or large when it comes to who's Asian. Like off the top of your mind, who's the biggest Asian personality that you know of?
Jackie Chan. Everyone
said Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
but
it's because of Rush Hour,
right? But besides that, I mean, think about who's the biggest Asian sports player in the U.S.
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin's a big one.
Yeah.
Yao Ming was a big one.
Yao Ming, yeah, and I'm a Houston Rockets fan. I don't know why I didn't say Yao Ming first.
So, but besides that, like thinking politically, maybe Andrew Yang, but that's only in the last couple of years when he ran for president.
And how many people wouldn't know that unless his last name was Yang?
Yeah,
seriously. Like,
so think about it, and then you go back to World War II, where we had Asian concentration camps, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's hard for people to associate like Asian culture with being American. I think, and that's why you have like a large population of like Asians and Mexicans joining the military because they want to feel a part of something. So maybe people like don't see like the human aspect to someone who's Asian. They just see like, hey, the response of all this culmination of history, and then you throw on top of that a world pandemic maybe came from China, and people aren't.
So to go back to a first point that you said, not to cut you off or anything, the first point is a lot of people don't think of other ethnicities in America when you say America, right? That's actually a true statement, whether people want to admit it or not. But I believe a big reason behind that is the Olympics. So I remember being a young kid. And this is obviously before the dawn of Facebook, social media and all that. But I also remember going, oh, that's what Russians look like, because I'm like 12 years old, never been to Russia, obviously, but I'm watching the Olympics. And so I'm like, oh, Russians. And they all kind of like got the same haircut, but it's a, totalitarian or whatever communistic government over there. And so they have to look a uniform type way, but you don't know that at 12. You know what I'm saying? So you're watching the Olympics, which is worldwide broadcasted. And in the Olympics, you're seeing what? For America, you're seeing white male, white female, African-American male, African-American female representing us, like Michael Johnson, a pole vaulter that's white. I don't know, like there's a lot
Bruce Jenner.
Because I was trying to think of a pole vaulter.
I think
I don't even know.
I think he was a racer, actually.
A shout out to all you pole vaulters. I know damn well I could never do it. So sorry I don't know your name. Anyway, but that's my point, is like a lot of people got the view that had never come to America. Obviously at 12, I'd never been to Russia. I've never been to Mexico, anybody else that was competing in the Olympics. And so you got to think that the opposite is true. Anybody that is from those countries that has never been to America, they view the Olympic athletes and they go, oh, that's an American. That's what an American looks like. Even though we're all different types of human beings, there has to be a categorizing of that specific person from a country that you've never been to.
Well, think about even like the biggest part of entertainment, what, shifts what the view is. It's movies almost at the end of the day. Typically like back in the 80s and 90s, Asians were typically, even though they were American, they always had like an accent. They were always the bad guy or something like that. I mean, same thing with Russians, but if we're talking about, Asians being integrated in America. Yeah. It's only recently, maybe in the last 10, 15 years, that they've had more just roles, just in general, like, hey, it's a American actor who just happens to be Asian.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that in the 80s and 90s with like whites or blacks. I mean, blacks, you had Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop.
Right.
It was a funny cop movie that happened to have Eddie Murphy, who was a black guy.
Yeah.
So I wonder if all this culmination has just put a weird like view in everyone's mind. I mean, granted, if you just going down the street and you assume that some Asian person is Chinese, you're dumb as hell, dude. Do you know how many Asian countries there are, and they all are so very different?
Well, I read an interesting statistic today. So, and I don't know why I just struggled with the word statistic. But I read an interesting one, and it is 53% of Americans don't leave either the state or the county that they were born in. Dude, that's over half of America. And if I'm not wrong, there's 365 million Americans. So I'm willing to wager quick math off the top of my head. That's like 186 million
Something
people
like that
haven't been out of the state or county they were born in. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So how are you not supposed to be small-minded when your entire life has consisted around a small environment?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think this like stereotype comes from, this Asian hate. It's quick. Oh, China. Well, I got Chinese people that live in my neighborhood. And it's like, well, no, you don't. You have Asian people that live in your neighborhood that are American.
And here's the thing.
Chinese
that Asian
people.
family may have longer American ties to the U.S. than you do.
100%, man. No, it just comes down to ignorance. And what we're talking about is the pinnacle or the foundation of racism. Racism is an ignorant thing. You hate somebody because the color of their skin. Well, check it out, motherfuckers. I have 2 colors on my skin right now. So do you hate me because I got sunburnt and then part of you likes me because I'm white? Like, it's so stupid, dude. The pigment in our skin is the defining trait of your character. That is, but that people act like that shit only exists here in America.
No, it's everywhere. I mean, like, you go overseas to certain parts of Asia. I mean, they don't like white people at all. They don't maybe look black people are or whatever it is. It's everywhere in the world. I think the U.S. is very blessed in the fact that we can at least recognize and try and make changes, even though we've got our many faults.
So do you remember this? Because I'm pretty sure you were with me when we were in Germany, right? Yeah. And that guy came up to the table with the drinks, right? And before he hands them the drinks, he goes, "Are you guys American?" And dude, I'm doing an awful impersonation. Holy shit, that was awful. I don't know.
I was like, are we in Russia or Yugoslavia?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just that was so bad.
You got it as a Russian?
You got it as a Russian. No, anyway, I'm just gonna act like he talks like me.
Are you?
He goes, are you guys American? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, that is problem. Do you remember this?
Where was
maybe you weren't with me, but this was like when we were playing Christmas Rock Night and we were in Gevelsberg, Germany. And the guy comes up and, you know, he's wearing like a Manchester United shirt, which is dope. I've seen Euro Trip, super American stereotype, but still love that soccer team. And he comes up and he's all friendly, but then he asks if we're American, which obviously we are, you know, and he goes, that is problem. And then like walks away. And so it's like, it's one of those like laugh scenarios.
Yeah.
It was like, we laugh and then it's like, oh
yeah,
we got real serious real quick, you know? And, but that was an interesting thing. So it had nothing to do with our character. The guy was super nice when he came up, but now instead of color being the difference in being the hate tactic, it became location. Yeah. And so now it's where you're from defines your character. And so there's a lot of these traits that I think humans have that are so ignorant that they let take them over. But it is such an easily debunked thing. It's such a obviously ignorant thing. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
But we carry it as humans. We carry it so far to the negative spectrum. So, I mean, like, just like these shootings that I mentioned previously, the guy I'm pretty sure he was a ginger white male.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
That killed.
And he was using the thing, oh, I just go here to, get off or something like that. I'm like, but you still shot them all up.
But you still shot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that leads to, we right after that, I think not even a few days, we had that shooting in, I think was it Boulder?
Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, Boulder, Colorado.
Ahmad Asalid or something like that was his name.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah. And so it was in a King Supers and he killed about 10 people. And for anybody that doesn't know, I lived in Colorado for 8 years. Boulder is one of the most gun restricted areas. It is one of the most highly democratic governed counties there.
Ahmad Ali
something. Name. Yeah. And then this right here proves why media is such shit, dude, because they ran just like they did with the Covington kids. They ran with the Whitey is the evil is the problem story, which they're catching a lot of shit for now, and rightfully so. So just like they did with the Covington kids, before they had all the facts, before they had anything gathered, they went and ran with a scenario that was like white man kills 10 people in King Supers in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
And what people don't know about this guy was he was on the FBI's radar as far as an ISIS person that was disgruntled and wanted to kill Americans. This has been confirmed. I'm paraphrasing probably as far as the specifics, but he's definitely not what the Washington Post or what all those assholes posted, which was Whitey does it again, basically. Whitey's evil, blah, blah, blah. Even Kamala Harris's niece tweeted that white men are the greatest threat to this country. And after that, and so people were just running with this narrative, right? And it wasn't true at all. That's the problem with your world today. Everybody that's listening, the problem with your world and why you are so wondering what's wrong, what's right out there, what's fact or fiction, is because the media that you grew up to trust is full of shit. And they just proved it again. How many times do they have to prove it to you, before you start catching on,
So, I mean, the takeaway from that is he was on the FBI's watch list. There was nothing to stop him from legally buying an AR-15, which sucks. And then I think 2 days after that, there's an arrest in Atlanta at a Publix. So this guy walked in with armor plates and 5 firearms. I mean, he went to the bathroom and the employees called the cops and they arrested him. But it's like, all that to say, all these occurrences that have happened have led to a large uproar and gun control, which again, being from Texas, I can't speak for Pat, but I know that, and especially coming from an immigrant family, you would think that something like that is not that important or whatever, but a lot of us here in Texas, we still believe in our First Amendment rights. I think that the only downfall is that we don't talk enough about the issues that we have. And like whenever stuff like this comes up, we're like, oh, well, blah, 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 trying to not to make a big deal. And it's like, well, hang on. I mean, the dude legally did buy a firearm and he was out there to kill people. Same thing with the guy in Atlanta. He had legally, I'm pretty sure it was legally purchased firearms, and he was there probably do the same. I mean, listen, if you're going to carry and you got your CHL, you're not going to Publix, to the grocery store with 5 firearms and armor plating.
100%.
Why?
100%.
Are you going to go? I'm not.
Yeah.
My purpose isn't to go.
Hell no, dude. I'm going to get groceries, bro. It's the last thing I want to bring.
If you're carrying, it's only a last resort defense. I'm not going there to play war.
Yeah. Well, you got to wonder now how many people are going to conceal in a damn King Soopers or a grocery store now.
That's fine.
But my thing is like the ease of getting guns, right? Well, yeah, you have the ease of getting guns in a country that allows you to bear arms, right? So now they're like, executive order needs to be tougher to get guns. Well, you're going at this, in my opinion, from the absolute wrong aspect. Yes, it shouldn't be easy for a guy like that to get guns because it's simple as sign and blast for that dude, right?
Yeah.
And so that they think that that's the end all be all. Now you got gun advocates going, well, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. It starts here and it ends with them coming to get our guns.
And which I think I know you're getting at is there's two sides. There's the mental health of why they want to in the first place. You take away a tool, you're just going to find another tool to get what you want to get done. You take away guns, they're going to move to knives. They're going to move to cars. We already saw that, was it in Germany or France, where this guy took a large machete, but he also took a large was moving the old school like ice cream trucks and stuff, that style, and just mowed people down.
Mowed people. Yeah, I saw that, and I unfortunately saw that video. And so you're right. If somebody is wanting to end a human life, it's not only going to stop at a gun, they will find a way. We're walking water balloons. We're actually really fragile. And so they're like, well, there's other ways to kill them besides shooting. So I can just take my car. I can do all these different things, right? My thing is, if you're willing to kill a person, if you're willing to go in a grocery store, gun down people, go into a spa and murder innocent ladies making a living, getting a legal firearm is not going to stop you, because criminals out there are not going to go and obtain a legal firearm. There's many ways to acquire a firearm without having to sign your name, identity, and purchase it on a credit card, much less buy ammo if you need that. Because obviously forensic files, Criminal Minds, such huge shows, they can track you down with all that. So why would you want to have your stuff serialized? Why would you want, if I was a criminal? So it's not just going to stop there. So my point is they're like, we want to take your identity. We want to make it harder for you to get guns. You're literally bypassing it. You're basically going, we want drugs to stop at the border, but we want all the airways to be clear. Well, we'll just fly the drugs over.
Well, they're still missing the point. Like the call they're doing right now is to ban like large capacity assault style weapons, whatever that means.
But what would that stop? You can still do the same thing with a pistol, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then at that point, then you're going to take away all guns, which it's not logistically possible. I know they did that in Australia, but you got to understand, Australia and US are nothing alike.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They like to compare foreign countries to be like, well, it worked over there. It's like, but that's,
I don't know what to tell you guys.
For them. And You know, like it's not America. 365 people that are pissed off. Half of them are divided, and everyone's free and goes, "No, you can't make me do what you want." And everyone sings "Rage Against the Machine." Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. That's America, right?
Yeah. So I think that they would have a little more sympathy, or maybe I'm trying to think of the right word. Moving forward momentum. If they were talking about like, hey, we're going to make it harder to buy guns, I'd be like, okay, but what else? You're missing it. What else? If they said, okay, we're gonna talk about that, but we're also going to talk about when you have a major mental health concern in this country that we don't address enough.
It's also the least funded thing.
Yeah. You want to tell me, hey, we're going to throw down $1 billion in funding for each state or whatever it is to focus on that, and we want to make it harder. I might be on board, because legally, I've got no concerns of taking an extra day to do a background check. You're not going to find any shit in on my side that's going to prevent me from doing that.
Yeah, so you got no fears.
Every legal person who should be able to buy a legal firearm that knows gun safety and understands the importance. Like, at the end of the day, if you have your CHL and you're concealed carrying, that is the last, and I mean the last resort, because it's still a human life that you're ending. And if you aren't prepared to do that, and you're not prepared to take the consequences, whether it's be legal or, emotionally from mental health standpoint, you don't need to own a firearm. At least from the fact that you're going to carry it in public. You want to do it for hunting, go for it.
Yeah.
But there's a huge thing that I still think is even missed in the CHL course. It's like, you don't talk about enough about, hey, if you take someone's life, most people, they're going to be affected in some way. Maybe some people won't, but if you don't talk about that and you don't make them understand, hey, yes, the guy that you just, shot and killed was trying to kill someone, and you did a great service to them, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be affected. And is that going to lead you to go spiral down where you might make a bad decision, 6 years from now? I don't know.
So how do you feel about like the argument, the counter argument that I see to a lot of stuff right now is, well, if more people carried, this wouldn't have been a problem because somebody would have shot him before he shot 10 victims. How do you feel about that argument?
Again, that goes back to, does the person who has that firearm understand the importance of what they're carrying and the life they may have to take? So if you're not doing the training, if you don't know how to take apart your gun and put it back together and keep it clean and take care of it and understand gun safety, if you're not willing to put the time in to understand all that kind of stuff, that's not going to help. Like, for instance, I know someone who, and again, I probably shouldn't even say this on the podcast, but it's a guilty party, son.
Hey, you're the editor, bro. You just edit that shit out.
Yeah. I'll just put it this way. If someone like has all that stuff and they talk a big game, like, man, if someone was trying to shoot up a bunch of a crowd or whatever, I would take him out. But you know them and the way they act outside of that. And like, you know what? He's probably going to be the person that doesn't pull anything out and she's going to be scared and hide there. Is that really going to help? Is it really going to be a good idea to have, more people out there who are carrying that don't know the importance, the consequences, who don't even maybe know how to get their firearm out in the first place? That would be my concern.
Well,
if they want to put money towards training importance, by all means. I mean, if I was someone who wanted to take out a crowd, I would less likely want to go do it if I knew like 5 out of 50 people are carrying.
Well, I feel like there's like, and obviously America, being back-to-back world champs and that being celebrated.
Amen.
And, well, yeah, no, 100%, right? But like, I feel like there's just a lot of people that talk a big game. But one of the most hard-ass people I know, I don't know if he'd appreciate me saying his name, so I'll have to ask him first, but he's in the Army and he's had some confirmed kills, deployments, and he looked me in the eye and said, when you have to take a man's life, it changes you as a person. And it changed him a lot. And so there's a lot of dudes that have never had to discharge a weapon towards another human being, never had to be in that scenario, but they've watched a lot of movies. They've listened to the proper music and they feel like Billy Badass and they're wishing it would happen. And they don't know the repercussions. They don't know what it's like, because when I see a true hero in the army that does it. When I see a dude that's killed a lot of people for his country and he had to, and he looks at you and he says, when you have to take somebody's life, it changes you as a man. And you remember those people. That's some real shit. And these guys that are like, bro, I would just, you know what I would do? You know what I would do, Micah? You know, and it's just like, dude, like,
they'll see them like, you guys don't need to have this. You guys aren't.
And you don't need that. You don't need that shit because you're looking for it. You know, like, it's one thing to step up to an occasion. Somebody's getting mugged at gunpoint and you come over there and you save them. I don't know, some scenario. It's one thing being called to that, because I really believe that it's like the butterfly effect. Everything's like for a reason, right? Everything lines up and you just happen to be in that scenario and you found the hero inside of you and you stopped the thing because of your, you know, your firearm or what have you, your tactical training, if you will. But still,
think about what you just said, called to the occasion. If you live your life being selfish all the time, when those shots start popping off or whatever is, your first instinct isn't going to be like, hey, I need to go protect someone and possibly put my life at risk. It's going to be like, oh, let me just protect myself. If that, I'm going to go hide behind this wall. That's the thing. I think that is a huge concern of mine. If you're living your life and you're not even just being decent towards people, chances are you're not going to be decent when the occasion calls you to be. You're not going to be able to step up to that mugging like you're talking about. That's my thing.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so I'll let you on a scenario, and this is not a Billy Badass scenario. This is not me tooting my own horn, but when I was in my early 20s, I'm 31 now, so we're talking over 10 years ago, I was at a bar playing some music with a band, and I saw a man assault a woman. And we were up east in a state I won't mention, and I saw this happen. And so he wouldn't stop. She was screaming for help. He was a big dude. Nobody would help, right? He didn't draw a gun or anything, but I was like, dude, no one's going to stop this. So I went over there and put my hands on him, try to get him to leave. Well, he hit me in the face. And so I was just seeing red at that point. And so I hit him with the 2-piece in the, in the Diet Coke. Yeah. And it hit him, it knocked him down. And I don't know if it knocked him out, but it was enough time for security to get on him. Yeah. And I remember after that feeling a sense of guilt. Not guilty for saving a woman's potential life or just maybe even physical harm. I remember feeling like, dude, I might have killed that guy because I hit him so hard, you know? I can't imagine. That's just like, I was called to an occasion and it was with my hands, and I couldn't imagine with a weapon and knowing that you pulled that trigger to end that person's life because you could strike an organ. He could bleed out even if you hit him below the waist, blah, blah, blah. And living with that guilt afterwards. This is the problem with these Billy badasses in America that are like, you know what I would do? You know what I would do? I wasn't like that with that woman that was getting hurt. I was just like, no one's going to stop this. I am.
Yeah, right? Exactly. It's instinct that you're willing to put someone else. It could have been a woman. It could have been an old man. It could have been a little kid. Who knows what it would have been the same scenario, though. You would have stepped up to play because you think about other people and you knew that, hey, there's a chance I could have some bodily harm to myself. That's 100%. Those are the type of people that I think understand the importance of what they're carrying and what it can implement.
No, I think you're 100% on, man. I just, I think there's honestly, dude, this is what I think. I think movies have done this country a disservice. It's because there's too damn many of them, and people look to film and actors as a sense of like carrying on their life, as a sense of motivation, as, oh my God, that's how that works because Hollywood said that's how that works. So that must be how that works, you know? And it's like, it's kind of caused this really stupid thing where we're so disattached from what reality is, and we're so caught up in simulation.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that.
Which is also desensitized the public into thinking that, 8 people died at a spa. It's just another day. And I've seen these comments. 10 people died in Boulder. Just another day. There's shootings all the time. It's like, we shouldn't be so desensitized to that because they could come to your county, you know?
And we should be outraged that there are stuff like this.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be just to do one thing like, oh, let's stop another shooting. Let's figure out what's going on and let's figure out how we can change ourselves as a society so it doesn't happen again 10 years from now. It just bothers me that we place such little emphasis and importance on human life. Like you said, we've so desensitized, like, oh, it's another shooting.
Right.
That was still someone's mom. That was still someone's kid. I mean,
well, and how about the people that were like, oh, at least it was, dude, and this shit was real. Oh, at least it was white people that died. That's a thing going on right now.
Don't get me started on that.
I know, dude, that's crazy, right? And so it's from the side that wants to quote, that you need to accept all genders, like we should coexist. But, oh, it's cool. White people died because they're the evil, right? And it's like, okay, you can't fight fire with fire or you'll burn the whole neighborhood down.
That's why you can't give them energy. That's why I don't get why anyone responds to them, and yet people do day in, day out. Because they think they can argue that, they think they can argue the argument and come out. I'm like, you guys aren't. You guys are playing the same fire, same game over and over again, and you haven't learned your lesson.
Well, it just seems like with so back in like history, bad times used to bring the nation together. I remember, dude, I can remember at 11, 12 years old how tight this nation was when 9/11 happened.
Yep.
And like it was like everyone was waving their flags. Flags were on cars. It's damn near gotten to the point where if you got an American flag on, they're like, it's weird, dude. It's almost racist or it's almost bigotry. It's almost disingenuous. It's almost offensive to be a patriot. It's almost offensive to be an American now because the whole nation laughs at us. And how can you blame them? You got some dude. Don't even get me started on Biden's latest speeches. Holy shit. And
why do you think we consider ourselves Texans when we go out?
Dude, for sure, right? We're Texans, man. Like you'd rarely hear like we're Texan American. I've never heard that shit. I've never heard that. I'm a Texan American. No, bro, we're Texan.
Texan American. Wow.
Yeah, it's because we do things a different way down here, man.
We do.
But there's also like an accountability. That there's a local like citizenship, man, that I notice here that I don't really notice. And me and you have traveled a lot to know this. I don't notice an accountability to look out for your fellow brother like I do in Texas.
Yeah, I will say we're lucky. I mean, it's. I feel like it's kind of slightly starting to wane away, but I mean, like I tell everyone, like it starts with yourself. If you're not going to be the one to look out for someone else, they're not going to see that example and do the same thing. So, takeaway from this segment is love your neighbor. Actually, get out of your comfort zone and do something nice for someone. Look out for them. At the end of the day, we all live here, so let's try to take care of the community we got. And the rest of it, we're just going to see how that plays out.
Well, I would definitely say, and people are going to be pissed at this, but I would definitely say now's the time not to give up your gun.
Yeah.
Now's the time to get one, before you can't. And it's not.
I'm going to tell you this. Go buy a boat. Go put all your guns on a boat. And you know what to do from there.
Don't pay taxes. Live on your boat.
Mr. Iris, I don't know. My guns just sank in the boat.
So what? All right. Besides that sad shit, and
let's talk about Bill Burr. Did you see him at the Grammys?
Amazing.
So hilarious.
It was.
Okay. Did no one think before they booked him what was going to happen?
That's what dude. That's my first thought. I was like, did you not know what you were going to get? You're outraged. The Grammys are outraged at what he was going to have. Did you think Bill Burr, of all people, was going to come up there and just be like, your nominees for best music video of the year? Like, that is not Bill Burr. If you booked him, you had to hit up his manager. You had to know his credentials. They knew what they were doing, bro. So in my opinion, dude, the Grammys has gotten to the point where they're all about shock and awe value. Because ratings are so low.
Viewership.
Yeah. I think this was the least viewed Grammys too. And that's the case every time. Well, every time in like the past like decade.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a short clip because, oh man.
Dude, please.
So
it was legendary, man. But Bill Burr, it was the same as who was that comic that came out at was it the Golden Globes or
Oh yeah,
Jeffrey,
I know who you're talking about.
He had that legendary rant too, where he was talking about Ronan Farrow and he's coming for you.
Yeah,
it was epic. And so that's kind of what it reminded me of. And but one thing I remembered is I want to say it was the Golden Globes. Let's just say it was. I remember people latched on to that so much because of his honesty, and people are so pissed at actors, Disney, for all this pedophilia shit that, mind you, people have been super quiet about. Which is so weird, dude, because it had so much coverage before, not by mainstream, by citizens. Mainstream wouldn't do that. Why?
All right, let me see. I think I can pull it up finally. It was just so funny. Like something would happen, he would say something. I'm like, do y'all not realize what was gonna happen?
Watch this. Hang on. This is so good.
I'm hoping it'll load. Oh, it's not. Hang on. Let me see. Okay, if I can find it on YouTube. But the funniest part was they made him like do this Latina star like won some award, and him trying to pronounce her last name, and he was just like, "I'm so sorry. I butchered that. I don't know why they gave me this job," or something like that.
Hey, I don't speak your language. Does that make me racist? But people were calling him racist for that. Like, how does that make me racist? I have to learn Spanish in order to not be racist. What if I said you have to learn English in order not to be a racist? That would be racist. Like, there's so much hypocrisy in this ignorance. Yeah.
Let's see. Is this gonna pull? Okay, I think this is it.
Let's go.
Oh, hang on. I gotta change some settings, y'all.
Change some settings, bro.
1 second.
We call them settings. Down here.
Okay. Go.
I just love that you paused it on that face he's making.
Okay, here we go.
All right, let's do this.
Let me back up a little bit. I
don't hear jack shit.
You don't?
No.
Okay, maybe there's something
But everyone can see that we're talking about.
You can go look
Bill
at the
Burr
clips,
slammed for Grammy jokes. I mean, that really sums it up. Bill Burr slammed for Grammy jokes. The guy's a comedian and getting slammed for his own art because woke culture is offended. Holy shit, alert the press. Woke culture is mad. They're outraged about something.
Someone was saying something about him being, I guess, a racist or something. And for anyone who doesn't know, Bill Burr's wife is black.
Yeah, that's the best part.
She tweeted back some not nice stuff to that guy who was saying something.
But dude, it's so okay. So being called a racist now has been so overused that it means jack shit. It used to mean a lot, but everyone gets called racist for anything now. And so that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace to the actual definition and the people that deserve that brand. And that's what they don't get, is because they go, oh, I can use this and I win the argument immediately. So you're racist, you're a bigot, you're a Trump supporter, and for some odd reason you are a carnivore and you don't eat vegetables, so you like killing animals.
But it's also that one.
I'm a carnivore.
Have fun with those shits.
Yeah. No, dude, actually, hold on. I'm doing the carnivore diet. I haven't had that. I've been waiting. And
really? Is it a thing about you're 2 weeks in? Okay, then
I'm 2 weeks in. No, but the first time I did it, remember I did that shit like a year ago?
Yeah.
I did then. And not anymore, man. I don't know. Maybe I've adjusted. Maybe I'm just in a better like body state to start in.
Your body's used to it now.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, like, there's just like endless
1% on Twitter. Like, who really pays attention to that? Okay, a 300
the problem, bro. Everybody. Well, no, everybody. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I mean. It's like people are catering so much to outrage and woke culture, and it's not even real. So the thing is there's leagues of foreign bots that speak about. I mean, dude, test this for yourself if you're listening to this, because I did the other day, and it's very concerning. But especially on Twitter, you will see these hateful comments, and you will see thousands of them. But you'll go and click on that person's profile, supposable person's profile. And he's got like 16 followers, but yet he follows 18,000 people. He is a bot. You'll go to the next one that says the same thing, if not more outlandish. He's got even less followers, but he's following more people. So one thing that I've been listening to on podcasts is there's foreign officials coming out of the woodwork right now talking about that there are IT teams all over countries that want to hurt America internally. And they have all their jobs are 10, 15 hours a day.
What you hear about the Stellar Winds hack?
Yeah, well, so I'm getting to that. And so their literal job 10, 15 hours a day is stirring up shit to drive Americans crazy. So they sit on Twitter and they comment stuff that they know is going to make you mad, and then you engage with it. And while Twitter's just raking in the ad revenue and they're just loving it, these bots are pissing you off, taking your time away from you, taking your happiness away from you because for some reason you choose to engage with them. But so, and then the media, they go, everybody's outraged at Morgan Wallen's getting booked at a venue that he's playing here in a couple weeks. Everyone. Yeah. And that's what they lead the title with. So they make you think that you're in the minority because of clever headlines. They make you think that, oh, because I support said person, because I support another thing, but they'll start it with, everyone is mad.
Being Twitter a minority world, and anything right now is I feel like it's never going to change here in the US. There's always going to be.
My point is they want you to feel outnumbered, so you feel scared to comment. Now, if they go, imagine if they did that same title, and let's just use Morgan Wallen because he had a bunch of attention over what happened. He had a bunch of hate going on. Imagine now if they painted that picture of that headline and they went, a few people are pissed off at Morgan Wallen for what he said. A few people. Or like somebody commented hateful things to Morgan Wallen. Everyone's like,
instant scroll down.
Oh, shut up, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes, everyone, Twitter world is so mad at Morgan Wallen. And then you're going, oh, man, if I comment this, I'm going to get attacked in droves. Well, you are going to get attacked in droves. But I would be willing to wager, after all the podcasts and research I've done, is about 40%, 60% of those comments aren't real people. They're probably the same person with multiple accounts. You have to keep that in mind. So we're fighting a digital war now, dude. The Civil War is fought on Facebook and Twitter right now. And there's plenty of ammunition for everybody. So all you got to do is
for days.
That's all you got to do to fight back. And for some reason, dude, it's really taxing on people. Somebody talks shit to me on Facebook, I laugh with it. I'm like, dude, let's waste this dude's time, because time's the one thing you can't get back. Obviously, I can't reach through the computer to slap this dude. So let's just waste his time, because if I got time, I'm gonna waste yours if you're talking shit. You know,
there'll be times I'll get out of a meeting, I'll go on, and I see you posted something, and you're down in the comments. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pour myself another cup of coffee and take a read here.
And if you have,
I get a notification because we talk so much. When you post something, I'm like,
oh, you get immediately.
I was like, it's time for a cup of coffee.
You're probably like, oh shit, what did he post now? I stir up the shit all the time, but people are like, oh my God, this guy must, dude, I have people that message me. They're like, this guy must be so pissed off every day. But that's the illusion of Facebook, is because they read your one sentence out of your day that was posted. When they read it, there's a timestamp, people. And when it says posted 14 hours ago, a lot of shit changes in 14 hours. But maybe I was pissed off for the 30 seconds it took to type it. Damn, I must be human. That's crazy.
Imagine that.
But they're like, man, this dude, because the way he types, or just because the fact he had the balls to post that, he must be really pissed. He must be pissed off all day. And if anybody knows me, no, I'm just very thorough with what I think. But I also have the balls to post it. And I think that if you don't have the balls to post it, then you shouldn't bitch about it. Because if you don't have the balls to be attacked, you shouldn't have the balls to attack. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
And you talking about the majority of what people think and what that leads to. Let's talk about the Snyder Cut, because I don't know how much time you got, but
I'm good, bro.
Let's go. Okay, we're gonna spend some time about this because
have you watched the Snyder Cut?
Oh yes,
dude, I haven't yet. So no spoilers, dude. You got so sad when I said that.
All right, you know what? Sorry,
hold on. Are you an HBO Max guy? Is that why? Are you on that?
No. Oh, we've got it, but I just really like the story behind of why the Snyder Cut came to fruition. So if you haven't watched it, okay, let's wait. Let's talk about this next episode. We'll push the guest 1 week because we.
No. I want to know that what do you? Okay, since you've seen it, give me your review real quick.
Okay, so let me do a quick backstory for anyone who doesn't know, who's not a comic person. You're gonna have to get over it. Okay,
get over it.
Yeah, get over it. Okay, so 2017 Justice League, it arrives in theaters and it doesn't do great. Let me do some backstory on how that movie came to fruition, and we'll talk about the Snyder Cut because it's important. All right, so Snyder is directing the Justice League film. He gets halfway through filming, and the studio, Warner Brothers, you guys need to get your act together. Doesn't like the script, doesn't like the direction of the film, how it's going, and they hired Josh Whedon, who did the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. He directed those two films. They hired him to come on and rewrite the script. So he comes on, rewrites about 50, I think 75% of the script, and has Snyder do some additional recuts and some reshoots. So the filming keeps going on, and then sad things happen where Snyder's daughter dies in the middle of filming. And he takes some time, goes to take care of business, comes back, but he's not really in it. And I think he just got to the point where he's like, I can't do this project anymore. I just got to focus on family stuff. So he steps away from the project, and basically Whedon steps up to take over completely on directing. Completely redoes the script, does a ton of reshoots to the point where they only use 10% of Snyder's original cut in the film.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's why the uploaded pictures where they're doing comparisons, have you seen that lately?
Yes.
All over. That's why they're so drastically different.
Yeah. Whedon tries to do the entire direction from a Marvel side. When it comes to like the color grading, was like really bright and flashy colors. The characters, like the CGI, was very smooth and easy to see and take in. And so the movie comes out. It doesn't do great. I liked it. It was okay. I liked it just because it was the first Justice League film that came out.
I remember. So when, gosh, dude, I always, for some reason, maybe it's because we do a podcast, I associate you with every memory I have. I'm like, were you there? Weren't you there? So anyway, when I watched Justice League, I'm pretty sure you were there. I don't know why.
Yeah, bro, I was in the seat next to you.
Yeah, there you go. You're just always in my memories. But
just happened to be there.
I remember it being like, I don't know, but it definitely wasn't this. I think I graded it like
it was
good, good movie, because anything's a good movie you pour hundreds of millions of dollars into, but not great. And I think that was the general consensus across the board.
Yeah, so that movie comes out, doesn't do well. It is what it is. It kind of tanks DC trying to become a powerhouse in the film industry for superheroes. Leads them to just do basically a bunch of one-offs like Aquaman and Wonder Woman. So fast forward to a year and a half ago, rumors start popping up on Reddit, the Chive, Twitter, all that, hey, there's a Snyder Cut out there.
Remember that.
So they start talking about that. And then eventually Snyder tweets out like, yeah, there is a cut out there. So everyone's like, bring it to light. Let's see it. And so they start doing petitions. They start blowing up Warner Bros. They're like, okay, we want to see this. So sometime after that, Snyder kind of starts teasing like, hey,
you say Snyder. I'm sorry. I thought you did.
Damn it.
Please continue. Oh, and don't edit that out. Gosh. Okay, I'm sorry.
Speech impediment for you. Sorry.
Gosh, that was amazing.
I'm sorry, Mom. I shouldn't use that word. Sorry, baby.
All right,
we're not like that either. Take two. Anyway,
take two.
The Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut.
We're just gonna scratch this.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep it together. Guys, we are professional. So you stop laughing on the other end. Okay. All right, hold on. Ready? Take two.
Anyway, I don't even know where I was.
We're on the Snyder Cut.
Okay, so Snyder starts teasing like side-by-side film edits of like what he had for the certain scenes. He does a little teaser here and there. And the buildup just goes more and more. They're blowing up Warner Brothers. They want see that cut. They think like, hey, this could start off the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
So after a while, I forget exactly what happened, but basically Snyder comes out and said, hey, the Snyder Cut is coming.
Ooh.
And everyone loses their crap. And another thing to keep in mind, there were some issues with the guy who played Cyborg. He had issues where he was talking about like, hey, Josh Whedon was like completely like an asshole on set. He was treating us really bad. He had all this stuff. And he basically was complaining like, hey, this needs to be investigated. And basically they did an investigation. Really nothing came of it, but it didn't help the Justice League film from the 2017 because it's like, hey, Whedon's attached to that. He was doing all this stuff. Who knows? So basically when Snyder's like, hey, we're going to do a cut soon. And he announces it. Everyone loses their crap. They're so excited. They do all this stuff. And they finally announce, hey, it's going to go straight to HBO Max. They gave him an additional $70 million to do reshoots.
Whoa.
That's big money.
Yeah.
So they do that. They do all the research. They bring all the actresses to do all their different scenes and stuff. They re-edit everything, and it's just got a lot of hype behind it. So all that to say, fast forward to I watched it last weekend, and it was incredible.
Dude, like so much better, right?
So much more backstory on everything.
Isn't it 4 hours long?
It's 4 hours, but it really doesn't feel that bad. Like, have you ever watched the Lord of the Rings extended edition?
Oh, 100%. That's like one of my favorite trilogies.
Yeah. So if you can handle that, honestly, it's super easy because
it's on that realm of like interesting, not just filler footage.
The best way to describe it is so like, you know, when you've seen a lot of the Avenger films, they feel like a very bright and like actiony film. It doesn't feel like a cinematic film.
Yeah, it seemed to me like Avenger films seemed just like 80% CGI. And that's it, right?
So, I mean, there was a lot of CGI in Justice League, but it felt like something like a Nolan film. You feel like, hey, I've got to sit down and pay attention. This is going to be an extravagant piece of cinematic art. And that's
because in the original Justice League, didn't like Jared Leto's, there was so much hype behind his Joker character. He only had like 20 minutes of film like appearances in the original Justice, or in the first one that we saw, Josh Whedon's.
I believe I haven't watched it in a while, so
and it might be even less, but I remember he had a small part to do. He was barely in it. And so in this one, does he have a bigger role?
So you only see him for about 5 minutes at the end, but it's well worth. He feels more like a Joker in this film than he did in Suicide Squad.
I gotcha. Okay.
But everything from the aspect ratio, so they shrunk it in. I forget what exact ratio it is, but it's more has to do with cinematic films like you would see like a Scorsese, whatever his name is, or one of some of the Scorsese films.
Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese. The color grading, the CGI, everything felt more raw and DC.
Yeah. You think he came out with a vengeance after like obviously some bad stuff happened to him, you know, with you said his daughter went down during the filming.
Yeah, she died, unfortunately.
And so that happened, and then he sees this cut that's not true to his vision.
He didn't even see
film.
It. So the movie came out, and one of his production guys on the original film said, hey, man, it's going to kill you. Don't watch this, please.
Wow.
So he never even saw it.
Damn, dude.
All he did was read probably the comments of everyone hating on it and how bad it was.
That had to have sucked just as much.
Oh yeah, because it was his baby. It was his shining moment.
He had to step away due to unforeseen circumstances, and then come back to those comments. Like, dude, yeah. So that's cool, man. No, that hypes me up. I've seen all the reviews, just haven't watched the movie yet, but all the reviews have me hyped up these comparisons where they're showing not really footage, but pictures of like what Superman looked like in the original one, what he looks like now, what Cyborg looked like with this. It's like, dude, you can clearly see the difference. So I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, I definitely highly recommend watching it. The cool thing is it's not watching the same movie with just extra film. I went into it thinking, okay, I'm going to see.
That's what I initially thought.
Right. I thought so too. And completely different movie.
That's
I think honestly, I think there's maybe like 15% of the original like style. I mean, honestly, everything was recolored and regraded everything, but totally different movie.
Heck yeah, dude. That's tight. So yeah, you obviously loved it. I haven't seen one bad review. I want to though. I want to see that one dude in the world that's out there that was like, the original was better. I want to see it. I want to see it because I know he exists.
That will be the one time I log into Twitter just to torment this
But dude, some troll out there that doesn't even mean it. Maybe I should do it tomorrow. The original is better. Just like, you know that person exists. Maybe it's Joss Whedon's bot accounts.
Yeah, right. Snyder would probably like, you know, you're wrong.
Oh,
why
so
even
wrong.
trying?
So wrong. Original is better because it was under 2 hours?
Yeah,
under 4 hours. Whatever.
It was easier to watch.
Oh gosh. So what other? I mean, before we, I don't know if you want to cut it short, but I'm good. But I mean, what do you?
I'm good.
What other shit has been going on? I feel like there's been so much. Oh yeah, that's right. Biden can't walk up a set of stairs. Holy shit. Okay.
Was I the only one that felt a little bad? I felt a little bad that grandpa just couldn't make it up the stairs that well.
So that just means you're a good dude, and I felt bad too. But here's the reason I don't, is because if that would have been Trump, it would have been in music videos. It would have been all over SNL. It would have been all over everything. And now that dementia dude is falling downstairs, now all of a sudden we got to be nice to a president? Nah, we just got done with 4 years of being excruciatingly rude to a president.
I'm a part of this meme group with a lot of my buddies, and we were like just having the greatest time of our lives when Trump was president because we just
endless entertainment, right?
The moment that Biden, and I think right after inauguration day, the next day I sent something, and our group was like, "I'm glad we're not gonna take any easier time on him than we do with Trump." I'm like, we shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
You should just be just as hard on Biden as we should have been on Trump.
Exactly.
He's no different. He's a president.
It's got to be equal share, man, because you know what? You got in the way of a guy that did a lot of stuff for the economy, but you didn't like him personally. So you took all these attacks at him. You did all this shit. And so it doesn't matter. We have separated personal from executive to bills to all this. We've separated that. Now we're going after personal person. And so why would we want to change it now? Oh, is it because your guy's in office and now you want us to play fair? Well, that seems a little unfair, which is why you should feel what it's like for somebody you support to be mocked after every day for everything you can possibly get your hands on. You should feel what that's like. Why? Because if you don't, you're going to be a bigger asshole than the person filming Biden falling up the stairs and sharing it to Facebook.
And just like everything I like, every time I see his face, I'm like, man, he looks so old. I feel bad. I know it's dumb to say, but it's like because like there was such a visual difference between the age of Trump and the age of Biden. It just looks so much more. It looks like my grandpa when he was alive.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And it's like, Grandpa, you shouldn't be driving. Grandpa, you shouldn't be going up those stairs. Grandpa, do you even understand the bill you just signed?
Dude, well, okay.
And maybe that's the image they wanted to come across to make things easier. But I'm just like, does no one see this? I'm concerned.
There's no way this dude's in charge because it's clearly Kamala Harris. She has done. I've seen Kamala Harris more times doing press conferences than I've ever seen a vice president. When in the world did we see Mike Pence doing press conferences and shit like all over the time? Like I see it every day on Facebook. Kamala Harris. She's on this news source doing this thing. Like, and then the last Biden episode I saw or interview that I saw, he couldn't even talk and his media team had to shoo all the media outlets out of the room because he was losing it. He was like, when you do the thing that
I just watched that today.
It's sad, dude. It's super sad because that's the leader of our country. That's insane.
I think that he is kind of aware on a lot of stuff. And this is just my take. So basically, I don't know if you heard when they asked Harris about the situation at the border, and she just kind of laughed it off.
She does that with everything, bro. She just laughs.
I think Biden heard that. He's like, okay, listen, you just effed up. Why are you pulling that shit? You're gonna go take care of the border crisis now. Because right after that, he's like, yeah, we're sending her down to go take care of this.
Oh, he sent her ass. That's right.
So
what is she gonna do? Laugh it away? I mean, I just don't get it. I haven't seen one thing. I haven't seen one thing that this is supposed to be the new regime. Like they were supposed to fix all the shit, everything that your problems were, guys. This was the team to fix it.
You know what bothered me the most about, I don't know if you watched his State of the Union address. He announced he was going to run for a second term in 2020, whatever the next one is. 2021, 24. I think it's
2024. Right?
Yeah. And I was like, bro, if Trump had been in office and his first State of the Union address 2 or 3 months later was that
I'm going to run again.
I'm like, no, you need to shut your pie hole and run things for 2 or 3 years, and let me see if I want to reelect you. That's the same thing with Biden. I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do.
It is the weirdest shit that we have a president and a vice president in office that is surrounded by military and gates and guns. And they're trying to go, let's make it harder for them to get guns while we're surrounded by AR-15s, military, barbed wire, and fences. Like, it's the dude, like, this is what a fucking laughing stock this whole country is right now and being ran this way.
I heard an interesting take that that was funny. I think we should kind of work with is, there's just a lot of hypocrisy in this country. And the difference between maybe us and someone else is, I think between like someone else is like, you have to decide, are you going to admit to it? Like, hey, you know what? I am a hypocrite when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and I'll own up to it versus trying to hide it.
Well, because it doesn't just stop at hypocrite. It's the game of gotcha. So everyone's playing gotcha out there. Everyone's trying to backlog. Oh, you tweeted this 17 years ago when Twitter just started. You're going down. Oh, you tweeted this 10 years ago. You're going down. Oh, you did this and you're trying to get this job. You're going down. It's a game of gotcha. And so it doesn't just stop at
because there's a good chance that they have that in their back pocket. Like, did you hear about, Biden fired a staffer because he had prior use of marijuana? And I saw the meme where Hunter Biden's just sitting over the thing like, peasant.
I'm
going to go smoke a blunt outside.
Why'd you fire your son, bro? I saw those pictures. He was smoking everything.
Bro.
Yeah, well, dude, that's why no one trusts a damn thing, which is why you have subsidiaries. You got like QAnons and Blue Anons, right? Wasn't that the last one?
Yeah.
Blue Anons. That's the shit, dude. I'm sorry,
circle, man.
I just want to
find some humor in that.
If you're listening to this and you're a Blue Anon, please come on this show. I fucking beg you. I'm just kidding. Edit that out. I'm sorry. But please come on this show because I want to talk to you. I want to know everything about Blue Anon. Like, if please, like, that would be so sick. I want to talk, about it. But that's why you have all these, is because there's so much hypocrisy going on. You can't trust and I know, dude, I'm a broken record, but I'm going to always say it. You can't trust a journalist. You can't trust a mainstream news publication. And this is why you have all of this at all times, hypocrisy and people making up their own minds and bringing justice into their own hands, is because how do you trust anything that constantly contradicts itself?
Yeah.
How?
You can't.
How?
It's easy when you live in a bubble.
Well, yeah, true. It's easy when you live off the people that are now in office. It's a little bit.
Just a little bit.
If you're depending on Biden to pay your bills, it's really easy to support him.
Speaking of bills, of that video you sent me about, well, I had all that rent due, but I spit my stimmy.
Bro,
Jays.
Bro, that's the best video. We should share that.
And the funny thing is, it really does apply to any person in America. Like you've got some of the rednecks, like, man, I got a stimmy, I'm gonna go buy a new AR. Someone maybe in the urban, like, I'm gonna go buy a new pair of J's. Or someone who lives maybe on the coast, I'm gonna go buy a new surfboard or whatever the hell.
That's just human. That's just human nature. You get a lump sum of money. You're going to go out and spend it. It's just the same thing. So the stimulus, literally the government stimulus, was always originally tax returns.
Yeah.
So you get your tax return and the economy would always boom. I remember countless articles coming out, countless like mainstream news publications when you could probably trust them. Who knows? We've probably been lied to our whole life. And they would constantly come out. Stocks are increased. The GPA is up. The GDP is up. Economy's booming. Every time tax returns would come back, people just take that lump sum, go out, spend it, and then they're broke again. And that's the thing where like a lot of billionaires, they say this one thing. It's not hard to make $1 million. It's hard to keep it. Because when you have say tomorrow, Micah, you get this job and it's paying you $1 million a year. A lot of people that get that job, they just make their expenses that much
higher.
So now everyone's like, oh, dude, I'm going to be so rich because I got $1 million now. Well, yeah, you'll stay rich if you kept your expenses where they are at this existing moment and you retain that $1 million. But what do most people do? If not 99.9% of them, they get that $1 million and then they go out and then they adjust their overhead to match that capita.
They don't even buy assets that will depreciate, really, really slow. They'll just buy assets that'll depreciate almost immediately and there's no return.
Yeah.
You can't go sell any of those assets because you didn't take any time to think, what am I going to actually spend my money on?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and then it comes down to discipline. Well, how can you be disciplined when you're the most free country and you have to discipline yourself because the government's not disciplining you every day because we're not totalitarian?
Yep.
Damn. Deep shit. Right.
Speaking of deep shit, we should talk about a couple of things before we decide if we want to wrap up or not. Did you see the shrimp tails and the cinnamon toast?
So was that real?
I haven't seen anyone confirm that it is.
So I've seen the story. The story is a man found a bunch of chopped up shrimp tails in his cinnamon toast crunch. Isn't that what the story is?
I'm pulling it up right now. And
how pissed would you be, bro? Because cinnamon toast crunch is delicious, and you're like usually going for that bowl at midnight, and then you like bite into it.
All right. Apparently, this also isn't the first time there's been a situation with what's the company? I forget. Something Mills.
General Mills.
General Mills. That's right. I think.
How does this happen unless it's a disgruntled employee or an employee playing a prank and going, "Well, this is going to go somewhere." He just like finished his shrimp as he was eating during his 24-hour shift.
In manufacturing, I don't know how that works. You might have a factory that maybe they do dried shrimp tails and also the other half they do General Mills. I don't know. So it says here he claims he poured himself a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch and found some sugar-coated shrimp tails. Well, you should just eat them, bro.
Oh, hold on. Scroll down to that picture. Oh, bro, that's so disgusting. He was probably bit into one and was like, what the hell is this? Oh, dude, you know what I love is you read bullet point number 3 to the right. I feel no ambition whatsoever at work. That was the dude that put shrimp tails in your damn cinnamon toast crunch.
He was like, this is the only thing that's going to make my Friday if I do this. So
hold on. First came the accusations that Carp had made the whole thing up. Mr. Shrimps himself. Who the hell's name is Mr. Shrimps? This is amazing. Mr. Shrimps himself acknowledged this narrative in a tweet on March 23rd, the day after he shared his personal news with the internet. Something regarding the stupid "did he fake this" take, he wrote. There are black items cooked onto the squares and tons of it at the bottom of the bag. Gnarly, dude. In addition to the shrimp tails and other sugar-coated junk. Also, it's only viral because of their insane response. I would have dropped it. Oof. Oof. Rough night, dude. It also takes a lot.
Man, see, this is where it gets crazy. Then they start to, it's like here it says multiple women have identified themselves as his ex-romantic partner.
Whoa, they started digging up.
They're sharing like bad impressions of him. They said it was manipulative, controlling, and cruel. What does that have to do with him finding shrimp tails in your cereal?
He got backlogged, dude. So he goes, General Mills sent their assassins and they were like, we need to know everything we can about this guy for General Mills' sake. It's like, remember like the old thing, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Wait, here we go. It says, on the other hand, there's defenses, especially Mike from Lincoln Park. What?
He got involved? For example, from Lincoln Park guy, Mike Shinoda, who called him an all-around good guy. So that right there is the redeeming. Who's going to go at Mike Shinoda?
His ex-wife.
This got so deep.
What is CTC? Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Aggressively. What website is this?
I don't know, dude, but they went deep on some Cinnamon Toast Crunch here. These are sugar fiends, man. That's what this is. They're like, no one's going after my shit.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the chick from Boy Meets World, isn't it?
Topanga?
What's her name? Yeah.
No way.
Pretty sure.
If she's involved in this, it's all a conspiracy.
That's her husband?
Maybe. Okay, the only thing I can make sense of this, by the way, has gotten so weird so quick. It started with some shrimp tails and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then it got to a backlogging of his relationships with ex-wives and ex-girlfriends to now Topanga. And for some odd reason at the bottom, Keenan and Kel and Mike Shinoda from Lincoln Park. I don't know where to begin with this, but this is what I'm going to say.
This has got to be fake.
This is what I'm going to say, dude, is that either General Mills was like, we can't have this because cereal production during the pandemic has been down 1.5%, which means we lost a nickel and we're pissed. So we're sending all the forces at him. Or they wanted to debunk a story that could have possibly made outrage culture against them. And for some reason, General Mills thought they were going to be called racists for shrimp tails. That's what I think. There's no way you can make seriousness with this damn story.
There is not.
What was the source on that? Just so I know never to read them again.
Oh, The Cut.
TheCut.com.
Like down here, it's like, what was it? What was it? Hang on a second. Let me scroll down. Right here, what was on the side? Come on. I was going to make a joke about it.
What, the Keenan and Kel?
No.
Don't you dare joke on Topanga.
Yeah. Okay, here. Talks about all this different stuff. Talks about Breonna Taylor on the side, on the side articles, and then just talks about this sexless year.
Oh.
Who's organizing this?
The Cut. If it didn't make the cut, it's not on the cut, bro.
Some guy was like, man, you tell me I actually had to work for something?
Honestly, dude, who covers a story on some shrimp tails and cereal box and goes that deep? I mean, if it's the cut, we need to support these guys because they went major deep on some really, really unimportant shit.
I'm gonna quickly just skim through and see if they got anything else that's worth reading.
Man,
we're all
that's right.
Wait, what? We're all failing at being women? How?
Ooh,
my wife would disagree with you there.
Well, all feminists too, so they're like they're at
my new weird hobby is growing crystals.
Well, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Shrimp Tails Saga is getting dark. Gosh, dude, I'll never forget that. Sharon Stone, what's she doing? Oh my gosh, her producer pushed her to sleep with her co-star to create chemistry.
That's wild.
That is wild.
We're gonna have to talk about the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle thing going on with the royal family, because that's some interesting dark stuff.
They left the royal family, right?
Yeah.
So they're officially in there now, Americans.
I guess so.
And now they live in Texas.
No,
that would be crazy. Yeah. Everyone's coming here, so I just assumed. Like, dude, everyone is moving to Texas.
I'm like, hey, Prince Henry. Hey, Prince Harry. You want to go play golf?
Prince Markle, because his wife clearly runs the show.
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go play golf with him. I'm like, I know your name was Harry, but you're in Texas. You're going to call you Henry from now on. Your name is Henry.
You literally hit your ball and see it explode in midair, and he's like, walk away, boy. I don't know, dude. Anybody that's associated with the Queen of England, bro, I don't feel safe around.
Lizard person.
Dude, she's been alive for too long. She knows
wild, bro.
And if that doesn't mean that she knows like some meds to keep her alive, that means she knows how to stay alive, which means she knows how to find somebody to whoop your ass or kill you. So
whatever she's doing, she need to pass it on to Biden, because Biden could use some help on that.
Well, the thing is you never see really anybody go after the Queen of England and live to talk about it. I'm just saying.
That's some conspiracies we'll leave for conspiracy episode number 2. Yeah. I got some stuff about that.
The Queen of England. Oh, by the way, dude, we're coming up on July with some Ghislaine Maxwell stuff.
That is coming. And then I think May is when the CIA, a bunch of other government agencies are supposed to go before Congress and testify on
the documents, right?
The documents, and talk about everything they know about UFOs.
We're going to have an alien episodes. Get your Guilty Party tin hats on the guiltyparty.com website. Just kidding. We need to make some Guilty Party tin hats and sell them to tin hat people.
I'm just going to go run Walmart and get some tin foil and
we'll make them up, and we'll just Sharpie really shitty the Guilty Party on people like, I bought this for $50.
We should do. We probably should do some merch soon. We'll figure.
We'll figure some stuff out. We got the video, bro. I mean, that was cool. I was like, everything we do, we're always going to try to make it better.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about this thing. But so hold on. Maybe this is a good time to announce that we're coming up on our second guests. Our second guest is coming up. We don't know if it's going to be next week. We're going for next week, but if we can make that work, we're going to do a gas and oil episode. And I think it's important because the gas prices are nonstop rising. I haven't seen them this high in Texas in years. And I said previously on the last podcast that I have a picture on my phone where they were down to $1.23. And that was a good time. Obviously there wasn't that. Obviously here's the contradiction here, or the argument at hand. The argument at hand is people believe it's a supply and demand, and people believe that it's Biden and the Keystone Pipeline that has now been axed. So we're bringing a man named Tim Smith on, who works in refineries in the physical side, but is also very involved with gas and oil. He's going to bring some insight, talk about his opinions on it. Obviously, we don't know everything, but we're getting somebody that knows more than us to come on here and talk about it. And we're going to ask him some questions. So anybody listening to this that is interested in gas and oil, shoot us over a message via Instagram, Facebook. We are the Guilty Party at gmail.com. You can email us. Any questions you want us to ask him, feel free to type it over and let us know, and we'll ask him these questions. And we're probably planning on, if technology serves us well, going live with it. And then maybe you can ask the comments interactively on our new live chat via StreamYard. Thank you so much. But just letting you know, I guess. But other than that, dude, I think we covered everything that we need to cover today, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. There's something else I want to talk about, but we can save that for a few episodes down the line.
What is it?
All right. So everyone knows about Epstein. You can't not know about it. You have to live under a rock. So everyone thought that was an isolated incident. And I found out a couple of weeks ago about someone else who was similar, called Peter Nygard. I don't know if you've heard about him.
I have, but not in detail.
He is, let me see if I can pull it up.
Peter Nygard. I almost feel guilty for saying his last name.
Right? He was a Canadian fashion mogul, and also very, basically he had a lot of money. So I don't know if there's like a simple explanation, but pretty much he was a Finnish Canadian just fashion guy who, I mean, he's pretty much like, equal to like whoever created Victoria's Secret.
I mean,
yeah. His clothes were all over the world. I mean, dude was probably a billionaire, and he got arrested and charged with sex charges similar to Epstein. You know, sex trafficking with underage, all that stuff. You know, so it just goes to. It got me thinking. I was talking to someone about this last night. You know, if you've got Epstein, who everyone thought that was just a crazy like fiction story that just happened to be true. And then we got Peter Nygaard to a similar situation. How many more of those stories are out there?
I'm willing to wager there's tons, because what was that actress that was caught in that sex trafficking scandal with Fiji Water or something like that? No one in a million years would have believed that unless you had substantial and concrete evidence. And a lot of people knew about it before, and they were called conspiracy theorists. This is the problem, is cognitive dissonance. People don't want to believe in things that could be true or that are true. Now, it's okay to question everything, so you can shoot it down and be like, you're, a conspiracy theorist. But there's only so much you can shoot down when it comes out like this woman that was a successful actress is now rotting in prison because she was sex trafficking and also branding girls for her guru boss that was banging them. I mean, how disgusting, right? That's real. So Jeffrey Epstein, we now know, is real. I feel like he's being the scapegoat for everything, so everyone can protect themselves and do everything, because how's a dead man going to defend himself? You know? And so I believe there's so many out there. Why? Because sex trafficking is $150 billion industry. And if that doesn't strike you as disgusting, nothing on this planet will.
Yeah, I think it's that, plus as much as maybe no one wants to admit it, when you have that much money, dude, there is so much you can get away with.
There's so much power you hold.
Everyone wants to place it emphasis on race or something else. Like, really, no. It's if you got $1 billion, there's not a lot you can't do and not get away with it.
Think about like the dawn of like, okay, so everything like America's known now. Let's go back to Pablo Escobar. How did he get to where he was? Well, he was bribing people. His saying was silver or lead. I'll kill you, or you can take my payment in order for me to get what I need and you get paid. Otherwise, I'll kill you. And so obviously they took the money. Money is power. Money changes people. It's the same shit when McDonald's put their burgers at $1. Everyone was buying it, but they weren't buying the healthy food, you know, because it was more expensive. Money changes people. And that's just how it goes. It goes the opposite way. And it goes obviously in the growthful way, which is get rich quick schemes. Don't ever sit down with somebody with some Amway products. That shit is dumb.
If someone from high school reaches like, hey, we should go get coffee. You know what's happening next.
They always entice you, bro. I had a friend, man. He's a good dude, but he goes, man, I have a huge opportunity for you. I was like, what is it, man? He's like, meet me. And I was like, meet me at Starbucks, like right now. So I stopped what I was doing and I was like, bro, like this guy never tells me this stuff. He sits me down and he shows me some Amway shit. It's like some pyramid scheme. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But dude, that shit happens. There's people out there. Pyramid schemes. Stay away from them. Stay away from Pablo Escobar's too.
But yeah, we'll talk about more of this maybe on the next conspiracy, because there's just some interesting stuff. So we'll figure it out. But Pat, any ads or anything we're reading on?
No, but this episode's brought to you by Medusa Beard Oil Company. It's not your father's beard oil. It's not your mother's beard oil. It's a beard oil of the gods. Micah and I are rocking some Zeus and Cerberus right now. Dude, I'm always going to jack that name up. I got a Cerberus. I got to do more research on that guy, but I'm definitely a Greek mythology guy. They have a Greek line, which is dope. All I know is that these things smell awesome. I've been using it. I had to reset my beard. Got a little too scraggly. Tried trimming it. Had to rob Peter to pay Paul, and then just said, shave it all off. Anyway, I'm resetting it. Luckily, I'm Viking. This shit will grow back in like 3 days. And then I'll be rocking that beard oil again. But go get in with these guys before they take off. They are the co-owners of the creators of this, are the co-owners of Neon's Barbershop and Salon up in Colorado. But they have made an outstanding product that you can get a hell of a deal on right now. Tell them the Guilty Party sent you and go to facebook.com/Medusa Beard Oils CO. One more time without me fucking it up. www.com/ Medusa Beard Oil CO. And without further ado, dude, I think we killed it, man. It was a good episode. Yeah,
that's right. All right, y'all. Well, as always, welcome to the Guilty Party. You are one of us. If you're listening, shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you guys. We're going to be doing some cool stuff in the future. We're going to be having a guest hopefully next week. We'll see. If there's any cool, crazy topics that you want us to cover or anything, just whatever it is, shoot us a message and we'll make it happen. So
I also got to say, one of my favorite things that people listen to this podcast do is they send me the most screwed up videos. Keep doing that, because a lot of these things I don't know actually exist in this world, and y'all keep me like afoot to what's going on in this world. Even though while I'm researching something else, there's a million other things happening. So thank you to everyone that reaches out, sends us videos, sends us information, and sends us topics that they want to hear on this podcast. It means the world to us, and we will try our best and hardest to deliver. Thank you guys. Much love. See you next time.
All right. Signing off. Y'all have a good one.